And hello, everyone, and welcome into Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast. I am, of course, Mike Straw, one of the senior editors here at Insider Gaming. Joined with me, as always, is fellow co-senior editor Grant Taylor Hill, aided P. Albert Perkins, our senior producer, and the head honcho himself, who doesn't know how to use Yoast, Tommy Boy Henderson.
Hello.
Guys, I found out my 4-year-old has a name for this show. And he got home from preschool. It's the second day of preschool. And he's like, oh, you getting ready to do your Joe Schmo show now?
Joe Schmo.
And he thinks that I host a show called Joe Schmo Show. So, yeah.
Folks, this is the Joe Schmo podcast.
And then I sat there and I looked it up. I'm like, there's apparently a show on True TV in the States called the Joe Schmo Show.
Really?
And I'm like,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that might be copyright infringement at that point. So we can't call it that. But how you guys doing? It's been a week.
Another week, man. Yeah, no doubt. As we inch closer and closer to Battlefield, and of course, closer and closer to Grand Theft Auto 6, as we hope, anyways. But yeah, man, it's a good week. It's good to be back on the show, back on the grind, baby.
I have nothing to look forward to now. The game that I've been looking forward to for 6 years is finally here.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Plus, I went to System of a Down last night, and I've hit that today, the post-concert, like dream concert. Never been able to see them, one of my favorite bands of all time. And now the depression of not seeing them, to the point they're in Toronto again tomorrow, and I'm about to take the 2-hour drive and go see them again. Like, I'm close. Man. I probably won't do it, but I'm close. Grant, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I am probably one of the few people in the world who is not enthralled by the idea of there being a new Hollow Knight game, but there's other things to be excited about in my camp. Just not Silksong.
Yeah, and you are one of the few.
I'm with him. That's 50% ratio. So
I mean, it's 75 low key, but I am happy. But I am happy for Mike and everybody else who was looking forward to this game. I'm not gonna lowball you guys. I'm happy for y'all that got your game, but I'm
impressed. I'm impressed, but I'm not gonna. It's on Game Pass. I have Game Pass. Am I gonna download it? No.
Damn.
I don't even have to pay for it. I don't care to play it. Edgy.
I wish I had a filter. I wish I had a
glorified mobile game.
I'm gonna fight you, Mr. Balatro. Boom. I wish I had a rain filter grayscale I can throw right over me right now and just have Simon Garfunkel playing.
Staring out the window.
Just like, hello, darkness,
my old friend.
And just like that. I'm so hurt.
I said I was happy for you, man.
I don't know. I don't even care. I don't want your damn sympathy.
Oh
Us
my god!
And the 500,000+ people on Steam and millions others. We don't even want your sympathy. We don't even want it.
Well, I mean, millions of people play Candy Crush, so doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything. You hear that, Team Cherry? Your accomplishments mean fuck all. Oh.
Made it.
No, wait. Are we in the third?
Oh, wait, we're demonetized.
Made it 5 minutes. Man. I don't even know what to say. Guys, this is Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast coming to you every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m.
Uncensored.
BST. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm so disheveled. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching us after the fact or listening to us after the fact, we are available on all audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pocket Casts, and more. Guys, we have a big show. Like, we are prepping the show today. And there was so much to talk about. There's a lot. Bite-sized bits might be the most stacked section we've ever had. Especially because after that, more news came out because we have a quick snippet on layoffs to talk about, Stellar Blade, all that. But the big topics of the day to talk about: Silksong breaking the internet, state of play in Wolverine, Helldivers, Call of Duty movie. Since y'all three are apparently Silksong haters, we'll start the show with that.
Yeah, we can move that to bite-sized bits if you want, because it's
Oh, man,
My
he just
God.
doesn't quit. Doesn't quit.
I'm gonna, maybe some of those people from those other places were right about you, Tom. Silksong broke the internet today. 10 a.m. Eastern, it launched.
What are we playing?
I don't even want to get it. You guys don't. I don't want to hear.
We
it.
don't. We don't get. We lost the benefit.
Fine, man.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't even care. No.
Don't
No.
even
We'll get
care.
to it. We'll get to it. What are you guys playing? Start the week. I'm not even. I'm. You guys just totally ruined my mood. Literally, the rundown right in front of me. You know what I haven't been playing? Silksong, because I've been working and I won't be able to play it until tonight.
Oh,
At
I was gonna
9
say
o'clock.
you haven't played. Yeah.
No, I'll be
not
playing
missing
tonight
much.
at like 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
Tom's been playing Balatro because, he was doing that during the show yesterday. Grant, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a bit of a mixed bag, actually. I said last week I was playing Robocop Rogue City, and I completed that. But not only did I complete it, I enjoyed it
Nice.
so much. I went 100%. I got all the achievements. I actually really, really liked it. It's probably the weirdest game that I could say I really enjoyed this year. But Robocop Rogue City was the one. Like, I put 21 hours into it, start to finish, and I loved every minute. I am also now in my in fairways into Metal Gear Solid Delta. For some reason, I dipped back to Spider-Man 2 because I don't know why. I just I had an urge, and then I realized I'd never actually finished it, so I just got back into it now. And I'm really close to the end. I think I've just got to the bit where like Venom becomes Venom, and you get to play as him, like smashing the city up, whatever. It's really cool. I love that.
Spoilers, man.
I mean, it's been out like 2 years.
It's been out
man.
for a while.
I know.
You know, but I got through that, and I was like, man, they should make a game out of this. Funny that. And then not Silksong. But that's me. You know?
This entire episode, I'm gonna clip up all the shade that's been thrown at Silksong, and I'm gonna send it to Team Cherry, and I'm gonna say, I love you, but go after these people. Publicly condemn these people. AP, what have you been playing? Probably nothing good.
Whatever, bro. I'm still holding it down with all the sports games. You know me, man. It's college football season, baby. Week one was
correct.
No. Been playing college football 26. So week one just started, of course, this past week. So, in tradition, I'm still playing that. I just got through my bowl game last week. Alabama played basically a home game in the Birmingham Bowl. And it was just like
The
a
mighty
cakewalk,
fall.
bro. Yeah, totally. In real life too, by the way.
I know.
But went well. We won our game there, and looking forward to next season. Aside from that, of course, still playing NHL 24. And yeah, man, like I said, I'm just waiting for to get locked into Battlefield and everything. I think I'm gonna pick up Metal Gear Delta as well here at some point. I love Metal Gear. It's my favorite franchise of all time. I would be crazy for me not to pick that up. So, but outside of that, I think that's pretty much it. You can ask me if I've been playing Silksong, but I think you already know that answer, bro.
Tom, have you been playing anything else other than Balatro lately, or has that consumed your entire life?
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't even been playing too much Balatro. We've been quite busy cooking something up behind the scenes, and
A few things.
But this time next week, we'll probably be talking about it a little bit on the podcast, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just didn't want to bore myself to death with Silksong, so I haven't been playing that either.
I like the fifth. Take a comment from Tom alone.
Guys in the chat, you know what? Detective Cobra leaves a super chat, $2 super chat. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Tom,
thanks.
we're gonna talk about this in a minute, but super chats, if you put them in, they come up. Have you heard of, you mentioned Wolverine in the exclusive at IG yesterday. We'll talk about that in a moment, but have you heard anything about Intergalactic by chance?
No, to be honest, I think that Wolverine is going to be the big one. And then potentially the God of War Metroidvania might show up. And then I think we're just going to get maybe, I think State of Players sometimes do like 30 minutes of all of the games, and then they have a direct one, don't they? Like 20 minutes of gameplay of the upcoming game. So I think that's probably going to be Ghost or Yote.
I'm pretty sure we already had a direct of Yote, so
Yeah.
Oh, did we? Well, I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll get another 50 because it's going to be so close to that release. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're looking at the numbers or whatever and seeing that they need an extra push or something. But yeah, I think Intergalactic is probably going to be next year. We'll probably get a big look next year, and I think
That makes
Wolverine's
sense.
going to be the big one this year, and then probably the small God of War game, and then yeah, maybe we'll get an update on Marathon and Fair Game Dollar Sign. I know you guys like me saying that, and yeah, I can't really think of anything else too much. I guess everything else will be a surprise, which everyone enjoys. But yeah, I think from what I understand, at least, like the big thing is going to be Wolverine.
Which I mean, AP's talked about it ad nauseum. He's been waiting for more. So I'm sure when that story
Bro.
dropped yesterday, link will be in the description
Yeah.
after the show airs if you missed it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it again in a minute. But I know AP was stoked.
Yeah. We'll
Absolutely,
talk
man.
about it later. Yeah.
Can't wait.
One of the games that I played it over the weekend. Sonic Racing Crossworld had a network test ahead of their launch later this month. And my God, this racing game might completely just take me away from playing Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World,
Wow.
my son's played a lot, and I have a feeling it's going to take him away from it too. It's a racer that does it. It's been so tough to get a kart racer or any type of like cartoon style racer to kind of take away from Mario Kart World. It's not going to be a replacement for it, but it feels like Crossworlds will be the alternative to what, like the actual alternative to what people hope they would get. I just can't wait. All it did was left me wanting to play it more. And
What makes it so good? Is it like the tracks or
the control? The tracks are fun. The going through the dimensions is nice. Character selection. I also am a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan, so all of the characters are there, even the ones you wouldn't expect. I know my son's going to be stoked the fact that there's going to be a Minecraft DLC that will end up picking up for him with Minecraft related tracks and stuff. But Pac-Man will be there too. It feels, everything handles. The car upgrades are cool. Everything, you can make your kart feel different. Where obviously in Mario Kart World now Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you could edit your kart to kind of make it feel different. But at the end of the day, everything's still kind of played the same. So far, granted, I only played, I think, like 4 hours of it during the network test because it's all I had time for. But the cars all still felt unique enough for the most part.
I think it was playable at Summer Games Fest, right?
It was, but the list was so long we couldn't get in.
Yeah. I think, from everyone talking about it there as well, it seems like it is going to be one of those games that is going to convert a lot of people away from Mario. And especially now with Sega doing the new era with, you can just picture it, right? Like Crazy Taxi being in there and all that kind of stuff is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. The crossovers that they can have with the Sega properties themselves. I want Jet Set Radio crossover. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That'll be the crossover I want. But we have a lot to get to today. The top story. Silksong broke the internet. You stop it. Silksong broke the internet. It launched today, finally, after 6 years since it's announced. It has peaked on Steam at over 530,000 players. It launched at 10 a.m. and the first boss of that game is the toughest boss anybody will ever face, and that was an error page of a storefront. Steam went down. Xbox went down. eShop went down. PlayStation didn't have it up until after 12 because of the way the PlayStation Store updates. That bothered a lot of people, but they weren't the ones having crashing issues. So, all jokes aside, when you see a game like this, at the end of the day, it is an indie game. Have the launch it did, people jumping to play it, causing storefronts to crash. Did it surprise you?
I'll be honest, it did. Not because of the meme that it's a bit poo-poo, but
it's a bit poo-poo.
but I don't like, to be honest. I was shocked by it, and it has me tremendously worried for GTA 6 now. Like, I know it's completely off topic, but yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get to that though. We're gonna transition.
But yeah, it was surprising, to be honest. I mean, looking at Steam now, it's on I think 530,000 concurrents it was on when I last checked. I don't know if it's any higher than that.
No, I was just looking now. We're on 470 at the moment. 535 was the peak. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, unless there's a lot more people playing on console, it seems like it shouldn't have brought.
It beat Battlefield 6. It edged out.
Team Cherry of U-botting or something. I don't know what's going on.
The thing is, it beat Battlefield 6.
14,000 it beat it by.
And that it beat a free Battlefield 6 beta.
Yeah.
Versus a $20.
Wow.
That is the thing I like the most is Team Cherry could have easily decided with the hype around this game said it's going to be $40.
Yeah.
They came out with a $20 game. And I think the difference in the sales from $40 to $20 is going to be big enough that this game probably already is a smashing success financially.
Yeah. All jokes aside, as much as I'm bashing on it, I'm obviously joking, but because it is at that $20 price point, I am thinking, should I actually pick it up? Or, I've told my missus about it. Why don't, you play it on the Switch 2 or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to this new price point that is proving tremendously successful for a lot of indie games, like Balatro being one. You have Abubakar's Dead Take, which was around that price point.
Yeah,
or maybe
his Tales of Kanzera was affordable as well. That's a running theme with him and his team is that they want to keep games affordable.
Yeah, I mean, what he said was price of pizza, right? Like, if it's that much and you're getting hours and hours of content out of it, then it's probably going to do well. And yeah, I mean, awesome. I'm glad it's doing well. I don't know how far it's going to go this weekend. Hopefully, it gets up to the million point.
There's that chance. I think in my mind, I think it peaks at Friday hits. I think it peaks at like 650,000 because I think everybody who wanted this game bought it today,
day one. Yeah.
Is there any information out there of how long it's going to be in terms of game length?
I don't know if that's actually come out yet. But I want to say it's going to be similar to what the original was, which it took me about 45 hours or so to beat the original Silksong or the original Hollow Knight.
Is that because you shit at the game? Or...
Yeah, I'm looking at how long to beat. There's nothing on there yet because I haven't got enough data, but I'm seeing people say about 30 hours. Even if you go quick, you're looking at about 30 hours.
And for $20, you get 30 hours. Like you're getting less than $1 an hour for playtime.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
I think we peak at like 650, 700,000. I'll be surprised. I know the Game Pass thing is a big deal. That probably will cannibalize some sales, but I think the benefit of getting more people to try it with Game Pass, obviously they're still selling no matter what. So good for them. And it turns out all those games that delayed themselves, whether it be 2 weeks to 2 months, probably the right call. Because no one's gonna play them. I mean, at this point, if indie game fans and a lot of fans are hooked on Silksong right now until they beat the game, and we know there's going to be more content coming. We don't know when. They just said this isn't the only thing with Silksong. Like there's going to be added content down the line. So yeah, I mean, come November, maybe those indie games that delayed pick back up and things go well. But yeah, you brought up earlier, and this is kind of the transition I wanted to make. It was clearly smart to delay those games. Moving to a much bigger title financially, Grand Theft Auto 6 in popularity too, May of next year. And there's a lot of talk. My God, Grant, if I hear you type one more time.
Bro, mute your mic. There you go.
GTA. He muted his camera. GTA 6 launching. How many games? We already know there's going to be games that don't get launched around it.
Mm.
We saw Steam and the Xbox store go down. How much stress do you think now? How much are they going to stress now of like, we need to make sure this doesn't happen? Because imagine GTA 6 launches in May and no one can actually download it. Like, how early do you have to allow pre-downloading for those who buy the game? Like a month?
Yeah, I was going to say about
it's
a
going to
month.
have to be, And I mean, to be honest, I don't think that it is going to release in May. For some reason, I just cannot see GTA 6 releasing in May. All the rumblings and so on just doesn't seem to suggest it. Not good enough to corroborate it and report on it, so don't put this on Reddit.
I
Breaking news.
Like, to me, it just
Breaking
makes
news.
Like, logically, to me, it makes so much sense to release in late May because I look at it end of school year. You got summer vacation for college kids and high school kids and whoever's going to be playing it.
Yeah, but to be honest, like I don't think Take-Two really give a shit.
They know they're going to sell no matter when the game comes.
Yeah, I think Rockstar have proven time and time again that they're perfectionists, and if there's one small, this is what I was thinking, and I said this to someone a couple of weeks back, is that GTA is such a monumental game that anything that is wrong with it, even the slightest bug, like so your character clips outside of a door when you're trying to open the door to a car or whatever, the media is going to run with that and make it seem like an incredibly bad thing.
But wait, we're the media.
But this is what I mean, right? Like, we would run with it because it's like, damn, that's going to get low. That's going to bring in the views.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is broken mess at launch.
There's like, no, but you know what?
Clips through the door or something.
Like, fairly instantly, as much as it probably wouldn't do that much bad, in terms of sales, it is something like that narrative will probably continue to happen, and I think Rockstar are just such perfectionists that, to me personally, I think we're looking at October.
That's what I was thinking.
And then it allows them to obviously get the holiday sales, and then a year, 18 months later or whatever it may be, we're looking at next gen. They're going to do a next gen port for that. Then you've got,
that's when they're released on PC too.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many like double dip-ins that they can do that I think it makes sense. But in terms of other developers, I mean, time and time again, this conversation happened at GDC in San Francisco, because at the time they didn't announce the release date, is that the whole industry was waiting for that release date. And now I think that the whole industry is waiting to see if it's going to be delayed, because they're probably going to announce it in their next financial call, which is it like late November?
November is the next one. My thought was, if we're going to get a delay, there's November, then there's February. I think November, they're still going to say, hey, we're coming in May. February would be the one we go, no. Because that would be February's call would be the last one before the release, before the May year end.
Yeah, I feel like that would be too soon, before the release, though, unless they've done that before.
They did it. I mean, they didn't. They announced near the year end that they weren't going to make it to 2025. It was near. It was pretty. I mean, it wasn't near the end of the year, but it was near their year end.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, we're going on a GTA 6 tangent. Yeah, I think the industry is just going to wait and see what they say.
I do wonder how many games don't have an announced release date solely because they're like, we don't know what they're going to do. Again, like you said, they had that already. They announced the date. Games were starting to get their release date announced. Imagine being a game like, all right, we're coming October 9th, 2026. And then you got GTA going in, say, December this year or January of next year. We're not hitting May. We're hitting October 14th or October 16th, 2026. And then you have these studios scrambling again. Like that, it's guaranteed to happen.
It's first light, like the first one that's been revealed with the release date, like fairly close. That's the end of March.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that's coming out where they've said like, where I mean it's still 2 months, gap.
Yeah, but I mean
Bold move,
but beforehand doesn't
yeah,
matter. Like as long as you look at the game and they know approximately how long these games will last, and they've got the data. Like if it's a 30-hour game, then on average it takes the average player 2 weeks because they're coming home from work, blah 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 blah. But it's going to be after, and with Silksong, obviously a few people have pushed their games 2 or 3, 4 weeks after the fact. Of GTA, it's probably going to be like 2 or 3 months.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
especially with whatever they decide to do with GTA Online 2.0 or whatever they call it. You brought up First Light, and that takes us into our second topic of the day. State of Play, First Light. Deep Dive was on Wednesday, and this is where we'll get to Tom's exclusive. But Grant, you were able to do a preview of State of Play, or of 007 First Light. Hands off.
Was I? Was I really? No, I was disappointed about this. Let me get it off my chest, right? Went to Gamescom. IO Interactive had their big booth for 007 First Light. It was probably the most ostentatious booth in the business area. It was mocked up to look like a cinema. You had like scenery outside. They had an Aston Martin, a classic Aston Martin they'd pulled up there, and it was cool. I had to sign 2 NDAs just to get through the door. Expired now, so just to get through the door and then sit down and watch this presentation. And I was like, cool, we're seeing some gameplay. We got a little walkthrough from the devs. They're telling us the lay of the land or whatever. And I'm like, great. They're like, cool. You can't talk about this until September 3rd. I was like, sick. Okay. I wonder why. And then lo and behold, they do their reveal, right? But it was exactly the same content, identical content, like exactly the same thing, scene for scene. And I was like, why would you NDA me, about talking about it and give me this exclusive preview opportunity if you're just going to show the general public the exact same thing 2 weeks later? I was like, why would you go to the trouble of setting up such a crazy booth just to 2 weeks later show the entire world exactly what you've just shown me? I could have watched that on a screen sitting in, on my phone or something.
That's kind of lame.
It was weird. And I was like, okay, so now I'm publishing this exclusive hands-off preview, except everyone in the world has already had the same preview now.
Exactly.
So it's not special.
It's nothing exclusive. Yeah.
I mean, it's up there anyway. It's up there anyway. And I was like, okay, cool. These are the thoughts and feelings I have. And what I've said about the game is I've seen a lot of other people echo it, in that it just looks like Hitman with James Bond skin. Like a lot of the UI and the feel and the some of the mechanics, like all the espionage stuff, it just smacks of it being like a Hitman game.
And that's the thing. They said they didn't want it, or they weren't going to make it feel like a Hitman. Like they were adamant.
They've reiterated it a couple of times.
Not going to play like Hitman. Like they're going to take inspiration because obviously Hitman is what it is. It's their biggest IP. Yeah. You can take inspiration, but if it comes out and people get their actual hands on it and it plays like Hitman, it's going to be a
It did look like it did.
Someone commented and said, why would they do anything different from what they've had success with? And I was like, that's fair. But at the same time, this has been talked about as being this massive, never before seen origin story for James Bond from a completely different perspective. Oh, and it's Hitman. Okay. Oh, okay.
Dude, I mean, if it's gonna...
the scene where I got to get this off my chest, Ippy. I'm sorry, man, because we were live blogging this in the Discord, just talking about the audacity. Like when there's a scene where he's coming out the back of the plane, we're like, that's Uncharted. The scene where he puts down the smoke bomb and then goes in and takes a man to smoke, we're like, that's Assassin's Creed. Like I couldn't see anything in this game that looked like original. And it was a bit of a bummer because I know people are excited for this. James Bond holds a lot of power, but at the end of the day, I think this, and I think someone said in the chat, who said in the chat? Someone said in the chat that they'd be surprised if it comes out in March. Yeah, Ali said it'd be shocked if it comes out in March. Like the trailer was janky. There were a lot of performance issues, frame rate issues, a lot of really cheap stuff, like explosive canisters everywhere just to get some Michael Bay style sequences in the trailer, and it was and they did the thing where they walk around and they pan really slowly and they take everything in. I was like, come on, man. But I don't think it's
cinematic.
I don't think it's different enough from Hitman to be to really stand apart. You know, it could have been like a Hitman expansion featuring a playable character, James Bond. They could have done that, you know. Man.
Yeah.
What was the last Hitman game to release, and what was
It's the World of
sale?
Assassination thing they've got, which is their live service one. So it was like Hitman 3 that they just rebranded and made live service.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
normally
like-
they do like
And
the
they just
celebrity
keep adding
appearances
missions
and
for
stuff
it.
like that. Yeah, exactly.
And IR own the rights to Hitman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've made it.
So
since,
like,
you know,
and obviously, like this, what like when I was looking at the gameplay reveal, all I could think to myself, if you slap a bald cap on him, I wouldn't know.
if you slap a bald cap on him.
Like, yeah, but like I wouldn't know that is James Bond because he just looks like Hitman.
yeah,
But,
that's the
like,
thing.
Instead, it's Agent 47.
They
I
throw in a
feel
couple of like cheeky little quips to make him like, oh, he's a cheeky British chappie, and he's got all these like, you're right,
Well,
governor, and it's like, it's,
but-
yeah,
but I
it's
feel
not, is
like
it?
I feel like they could have used all of those changes from Hitman to say that Hitman's evolved, if that makes sense. And you know, they've got the rights to the IP again because they're probably doing 20-25% IP rights on top of this thing. And I don't know, like it just seems like a bit of a step back.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, if you look at it from like face value, it looks good. But then if you break it down a bit and you go through the trailer with like a bit more granularity, you see the real obvious issues there. Like in the very few opening seconds when the car's driving down the road in Slovakia, the car starts rubber banding. And then the
Yeah.
scene where they're fighting in the plane and it just looks like an absolute nightmare because you've just got motion blur everywhere. The frame rate's flying all over the place. The car chase, 1,000 stars talking about the car chase. The car chase was the most scripted thing in the world. I was sitting there saying like that could have just been a cutscene and it would have had the same amount of input from the player. They're like, turn right here, turn left here. And it's like, there's nowhere else to go. It's on rails, you know? I'm like, yeah, I did not rate it at all, really. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the mad thing is as well is like they've shown that thinking that they've shown it because it's probably at a point where the rest of the game isn't.
Yeah,
or that's the only thing
that's
that
their
they
little
can
slice
show.
they can get away with. Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I think we're forgetting that IR also published Mind's Eye not long ago. So
But they're getting out of the game.
yeah, I know, right?
But they're
IO
gonna relaunch
Interactive.
that game.
No, man. IO Interactive turn around and say that they might not publish any more games under the IOI Partners label because of Mind's Eye being such a flop. But they will still keep publishing their internal projects.
I mean,
that's something.
Mind's Eye was only a flop because Take-Two and Rockstar. So
Yeah, man. They were paid. They were paying people off for bad reviews and whatever and sabotage. Yeah.
Yeah,
007,
I mean,
low-key Agent 17.
Well, if you think about it though, now, here's the thing though. If you think about it though, like think back, what was it? Just a few months ago, they released the DLC for Le Chiffre for Hitman.
They
Right.
announced it when
That's
we were at Summer Games
Yeah,
Mads
exactly.
Mikkelsen walked onto the stage. Everyone was like, "Wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing."
exactly. So it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, this basically could have been like, I mean, if it's gonna be just a full on, just a full on cover for 007, essentially for Hitman,
with
it
a
could have
wig.
been a DLC release, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
insane, man. I noticed.
And I get they
noticed
want to
little
do a
Easter
story.
egg.
I get they want to do this original story, but no one at the end of the day, no one's gonna care about the story if the gameplay doesn't do anything for them. No, if they look in the gameplay, it doesn't matter how it can be an Oscar-worthy story where they give the first ever film of the year to a video game or whatever, the Oscars. If the gameplay isn't fun or it's nothing that breaks the mold like they say they're gonna, no one's gonna care. No one.
Yeah.
I was really happy when I saw the trailer too, because I feel like I was one of the only people in the world. I mean, fair enough, it's probably irrelevant, but I noticed a little cameo in the background, and I did a write up on this because it was so like I spotted it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's so they in the background in one scene, there's like a bunch of arcade machines, and the middle one is a game called Freedom Fighters. And I clocked it as soon as it came up. I clocked it. I literally played that game like 2 weeks ago. It's one of my favorite games from like the PlayStation 2 era. And obviously it was IO that made it. So it was like a little cameo in the background. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. You know, to have that just like casually in the background for no real reason other than like, I don't know, Easter egg potential, but I was like, that's so cool, that's in there. And I was gassed. And do you know what? Actually, until I saw the Freedom Fighters thing in the background and I googled it, I was like, "Oh, IO made that as well." And that made so much more sense to me because until then I was like,
Yeah.
"Why they got Freedom Fighters in the background?" But then it made sense.
Next stop on the State of Play. So that was 007. Tom decided to drop a big exclusive while I was off. Enjoying
get the numbers up, man.
Enjoying, yeah, he's gotta make up for that great work I was missing yesterday. Wolverine expected to be at the next State of Play. Next trailer is done, whether it's at State of Play or the Game Awards later this year or whatever, remains to be seen. But Tom, I don't know what extra information you have, maybe about the leaks that happened. Was that a reason for this delay being as long as it has been between the announcement and when we're finally seeing something? What can you say about your exclusive for the people who are watching that may not have seen it?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say from different from the exclusive, but essentially the Wolverine, the next Wolverine trailer is now done. I said in the article that it is likely, I feel like a few people have missed that keyword, likely, that it will be at State of Play because there is a State of Play scheduled towards the end of the month. So, when you hear these, basically how a lot of these shows work, just to give people context, is you'll hear the rumblings that, there's a State of Play coming up, or there's an Xbox showcase, or developer directs that Xbox do. And then you start to get trickles of information like, this trailer's done, which could suggest that it is going to be, at that particular event. And this is the exact same situation where I heard that there was going to be, or there is going to be a State of Play towards the end of the month, and then separately from a separate person who I've known for years, and has given me the most reliable information you can get. He then said that the Wolverine trailer is done, and then you put two and two together. It suggests that, that Wolverine trailer is done because it's going to be at the State of Play in September. It might not be, and if it isn't, then possibly the Game Awards. We all know that Jeff Keighley likes his big reveals, or who knows, maybe there's another event. Yeah. So it is done. It was delayed to quite a big extent from what I've managed to hear, from people working on the project, is that obviously the ransomware attack and all of, the game leaking is one thing, but then the emotional strain that it plays on people when you have all of your information leaks, like your address, your social security numbers, and all that kind of stuff, plays a massive role. So that obviously delayed the game as well. But yeah, from a few playtesters that I've been speaking to, they think that the game looks fantastic. So that's good news, and fingers crossed we get to see a release date in a couple of weeks' time, which I'm looking forward to.
That's going to be the game. Because I think, next year is the hope it comes out, especially if they're going to show something. That's going to be the game where I think they just give a release window because they don't know what GTA is doing. Unless it's ready and they think it's at a point where it can launch in like a February, March, or April next year. That I think is a game where they wait.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is just say 2026.
Yeah, and then you go from there. Yeah, it just makes too much sense.
And then
they'll
go from there. They'll wait for GTA 6 to be delayed or whatever. I think I read somewhere, I can't remember where, but I read somewhere that PlayStation are obligated to do a State of Play in February and in September every year. I don't know if that's if there's any validity to that, but if that's true,
I feel like they're just looking at, hey, when has PlayStation usually done them?
yeah, but like. It's either, like PlayStation marketing, they've done all of the research and they know when to do them and to the pipeline of games and all that kind of stuff. And if it's true and it does suggest that we're going to get a State of Play in February, then I mean, like we were talking about, if GTA 6 is delayed in their February earnings call, I don't know how the dates line up because I'm not looking at it, but maybe then that's the perfect time to announce an actual release date, and they'll probably do it. I would imagine they'll probably do it before, either a month before GTA 6 if it's October, so it might be an early September release, or yeah, like a December release, because at that point you're probably just trying to capitalize on holiday sales as much as you can, and the
Luckily,
hardcore fans.
When it comes to games, I feel like a Wolverine game, a Marvel game is going to, like, I want to say it's going to sell, but we've seen games that haven't. But I want to say a name as big as Wolverine, a game that people really want more, I don't think that would be hurt by if it somehow still releases like a month and a half after GTA.
Yeah, I think by that point, people want people will move games if it's that big of a game, right?
Yeah,
but I'm just looking now. Like Marvel's Spider-Man 1 launched September 7th, 2018. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 launched 20th of October. So if GTA 6 is a late October or even mid to late October release, they could probably just launch it beginning of September and they'll be fine.
Next story, as we start to, these shows loaded and there's still so much to get to. Helldivers 2 is out on Xbox and it has done gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, and it's got people talking. That's one way to put it. It has the people talking. It has sold in 6 days, sold more on Xbox than it did on PlayStation, reportedly. According to one analytics firm, Alenia, that I don't know if I want to believe that fully because of how big it was on PlayStation.
I mean, Jesus,
yeah,
that was like what's that meme, that video where it's like the guy's talking and he's like, it's like damn, and like it just completely cuts off, and that's what it's like, man. But the like it's a similar thing with Stellar Blade though, wasn't it? Because that came out on PS5 and then a year later it launched on PC and it got 1 million sales like 15 times faster than when it did on PlayStation 5. Well, that's an example. That's a similar thing. I think like it building up that following and like the hunger for a new platform, and they all want it. I don't think it's any surprise that it sold faster, on Xbox. I think that makes complete sense because at that point everyone like knew what the whole shtick was with it, and they were like, man, I can't wait for this game to come out, Whereas like I think the gap between the first Helldivers and the second Helldivers game might have been long enough that like there was maybe like less hype when it came out on PlayStation 5.
Well, I mean, there was pretty much like in a way there was no hype for Helldivers 2. Let's be real, when it launched on PlayStation 5, because it was a complete change. As someone who played the original Helldivers,
operating model was completely different. Yeah,
it was nothing. Like Helldivers 2 wasn't even on my radar because I didn't trust it. Because the original Helldivers wasn't that great of a game to begin with. And then Helldivers 2 took everything and flipped it up on its head. So I don't know. It's weird for me to think that it outsold PlayStation. Now,
I was going to say, like, I think the PlayStation release was the best marketing they could have asked for the Xbox release, if you think about it.
Yeah, because they're almost at 1 million. They're almost at 1 million copies sold already. I mean, we know they're going to hit 1 million.
Yeah.
This is a game, though. Now it has me wondering, Sony's going to see the success of this.
Yeah.
What is the next game? When does The Last of Us finally come to play? Xbox?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was like, because people say this, right? And it's the same on the other side of the fence, like Forza and Gears of War and stuff comes across to PlayStation, and then people are like, "What's the next game that's going to come across?" And I'm kind of the standpoint of like, what does anything really need to? Like, they do it like a case by case basis. Not like there's always something else lined up to transfer over. It's not like their roadmap is about bringing exclusives over the wire. Like, are we suddenly going to see like State of Decay released on PlayStation? Maybe that's why it's taking so long. Or like you say, we're going to see The Last of Us suddenly debut with a double pack on Xbox. Like, I don't think it needs to happen, really. I think the only one that people are expecting across the wire at the moment is probably like Starfield. And then that's one that's like, it's basically a done deal. Apart from that, I couldn't say anything anyway that I would expect to make that transition. There's nothing I could name to make that transition.
Yeah, I mean, I was of the mind that it would only be live service stuff for PlayStation to move over to Xbox, but
I mean that would make sense. But if they
PlayStation don't fucking have any anymore,
yeah,
like keep closing them down.
If they see 1 million copies sold in a week or whatever,
yeah,
they're gonna look and go, well, what could we do if we take one of our biggest IPs and throw it over there?
it depends though, right? I mean, like, this is what I hate about the console wars argument, because this is the exact same conversation people was having 2-3 years ago when we first heard that, the next games are going to move, the first Xbox games are going to move over to PlayStation. Like, first of all, I don't think it really matters, but I think that Xbox's and PlayStation strategies are completely different. So it's very hard to make the comparison. I think PlayStation probably see the value in their exclusives, whereas Xbox are of the mind of, right, let's just get our platform out everywhere. Let's get our games out everywhere. They're kind of now going towards the publisher side of things, in my opinion, whereas Sony are seeing the console market still pretty strongly. So I don't know. Like, could I see The Last of Us on Xbox? Yes. Do I think they will? I'm just not sure, to be honest. So I feel like at that point, with
here's a game that I'm wondering,
yeah,
that could come to Xbox. So we've seen Forza Horizon go over to PlayStation. Do we see Gran Turismo? Maybe not 7. Though, who knows? I don't think, because the plan is, from what I know, they're not going to launch another Gran Turismo until the next gen. Like, Gran Turismo 7 is still going strong for that community. Do they port in the next gen, or sometime do we see Gran Turismo go to another platform? Because that would be like, you bring up the live service thing, and that's what I think of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Live
like,
service game PlayStation has.
Yeah, it's so difficult to know, right? Like, we know that Forza 6 is going to be announced later this month. That's probably going to move over to PlayStation. But yeah, seeing Gran Turismo move over, I don't know, man. Like, who knows? I don't want to say too much, because you know what people are like. They run with it. This will get clipped in 2 fucking years' time and say, "Oh, no, something's wrong."
I mean, I'm expecting what I say to get clipped. Like, like that. I know they're not gonna, though. It's not really that kind of grandiose of a concept. Hey, the next Gran Turismo isn't coming until the next gen of systems, but it is. But I also, there's still a part of me that thinks Sony still believes in console exclusives, whether they want to admit it or not.
Definitely.
People for some reason still have this feeling that we are done with the era of exclusives, and I couldn't be further from the truth. There's going to be less. There's going to be more timed exclusives, but exclusives aren't going anywhere. Nintendo's in their own world. I'm not even talking about Nintendo. Nintendo can go on doing what they're doing that they've done for the last 50 years. For the next 50, they'll be fine. PlayStation still wants their exclusive games.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, PlayStation are in that position where they've got this strong catalog of IPs, where if a couple of them ticked the box for a player, then you probably would have bought a PlayStation anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whereas Xbox do have a strong library as well, don't get me wrong, but all of the games are so different that, maybe, all right, you see a new Halo release and maybe you're like, yeah, but it isn't enough to make me spend $400 on a console.
Yeah. I
But I don't know if that
previously,
makes sense, but like I feel like PlayStation again, like this, console war stuff. Like PlayStation have a lot more like premium games, like like Marvel's Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, Wolverine. Like they've got a lot of more premium style releases, I guess. And I don't know. I feel like if someone was interested in at least a couple of those, they would probably just buy a PlayStation anyway.
Hey, I mean, like on the premium side of things, what is Xbox? What is that? Has Xbox had? Indiana Jones. Starfield's not premium. Starfield. You want to talk about Silksong being a mobile game? Starfield's a college demo.
Oh man.
And that's a wrap.
Topic number 4. Speaking of things that are more demo than actual quality games, Call of Duty, that franchise. We're not talking about the game this time. We're talking about Call of Duty officially having a movie. Rumors began rumbling last week. They became official on Tuesday that Call of Duty and Activision and Paramount have agreed to a deal that would see Paramount make a Call of Duty film. The deal calls for one, quote, blockbuster film with the potential to expand into further film and television products.
Yeah,
which we'll see what happens with that. My initial thought was we have thousands of Call of Duty movies already.
Yep.
That was everyone's first. It's like, look at the last 60 years of cinema. Any one of those Saving Private Ryan. Oh, yeah, that's a Call of Duty film.
That's
Full Metal Jacket.
That's a Medal of Honor film.
Yeah, exactly.
1917.
Yeah, man, all of them. Yeah, it's like Fury. That's a Call of Duty film with tanks.
Yeah,
Black Hawk Down.
Yeah,
I think the only way that this film's going to do well is the cast.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know who's writing, who's directing, who's starring.
Yeah, but none of it matters. Like it's a war film. Like the writing doesn't need to be. It's just going to be one of those goofy fucking films.
Everyone knows Pedro Pascal's playing the lead.
As always.
My thought was if they want this to do well, like you talk about the cast or whatever. To me, if they want it to do well, what they should do is this shouldn't be an original Call of Duty story. It needs to take storylines from a game or two.
Absolutely. That's what I was saying.
And recreate them similar to what... there's a reason The Last of Us did so well.
Mm-hmm.
Because they took the story.
Yep.
Take a story from Call of Duty.
That's what
and you can have your liberties and expand on characters that maybe didn't get enough in the game, whatever. But the story should follow something from the game.
Yeah,
I know the perfect game, and it's going to surprise everyone when I say it.
World at War.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what Big Red one.
No. Call of Duty. Ghosts.
I hate you. I hope you're joking.
No, because if you think about like the whole, it's like a SAS style kind of game, like infiltration, all that kind of stuff. I think the story of Ghosts was pretty good with what's called Rock or whatever, the bad guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I don't know, like I think that story with probably Ghost from Modern Warfare 2, just for the nostalgia bit.
If they want to hit like the whole one and done blockbuster, Ghost makes sense with it being a one and done game.
What about the OG?
If you're going to do Modern Warfare, but Modern Warfare, you're signing on for a trilogy unless you're trying to pack it all into one.
I mean,
exactly
look what they did.
I was saying that you'd have to have that. You'd have to have that familiarity and because people want to see the replication. And even if you base it around like the Modern Warfare 19 reboot, like you got Barry, what's his name, who played Price, who's like an actual actor, and all of the people in there are just real actors and real people, and it's like just cast them, just do it that way.
You brought up the movie, or being a trilogy if you went with the OG Modern Warfare. I thought, like, when I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking of what they did, what Blizzard did, and what was the studio that made the game or made the movie?
What movie?
World of Warcraft.
Oh no,
They set that up to be a multi-series movie, but what they did, they had a big problem where they tried to introduce too much into the first movie, and they overwhelmed the orcs, the elf. Like they introduced way too much into the World of Warcraft movie that it just overstimulated people, overwhelmed, and it didn't do well.
I mean,
and that's what I'd be worried about if they did that too.
I mean, like COD, it's like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. They shoot each other. That's it. You know, that's all they really need to do. Like, you know, they open up the film, it's like Bravo 6 going up. And you know, they take the stuff straight from the game. It's fan service and people will flock to it. I think if they do something that's like a generic war story, but it's just got a Call of Duty branding stamped on the front, it won't do anywhere near as good. I was thinking maybe they do some weird twisted shit because we've seen people, I can't remember what it is, but we've seen people do this where they take a game, like Need for Speed, for example, where they play around with it and it's, you know, related but not related. And I was saying they could do this thing where it's like they try to do something hard hitting and gritty, and it's like kids. It opens with like friends playing COD, and then they go and enlist, and they like go to war, and it goes to shit or something. And it's like it's Call of Duty, but it's like a more like serious thing than just like a, you know, Russians versus Americans shooting each other, like whatever, you know. And it's like, and then they try to target the whole like game franchise, you know, art imitating life, whatever. But that won't happen. That won't happen at all. But you never know, right? I tried to get a bit more creative with it. As you
imagine if the film starts off fucking no Russian mission,
no Russian.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, man.
There you go, boom.
I'm
could
sold.
be in there somewhere. You never know, man. If
no, but what I do, because
you know,
what was I've like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's for one movie, but then they have the rights to do spin-offs and
as long it depends on how the movie does.
So some kind of like prequel TV series that showed how Ghost became Ghost.
No,
bro, that would do bits.
What I want
coming to Netflix in 2028.
What I want is
just call
Call
it
of Duty
Ghost.
Zombies.
No, maybe
we have The Walking Dead.
If it was made like with all the humor and stuff and the really inane shit, like the crazy mutants and everything, like that could do quite well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever watch the film Overlord?
No,
I know what it is. I know what it is, but I didn't see it. I know what it is.
That's very like Call of Duty Zombies-esque. And
even the World War II piece and everything. Yeah,
fun little film. I don't know. I feel like a series like that could do pretty well, to be honest.
There's a few like that Army of the Dead that came out a couple of years ago with Batista. That was good fun, and that was like a fun take on the zombie apocalypse, you know, with a bit of humor thrown in. That could be really good, like the whole 4-person dynamic and on like some kind of zombie. Yeah, they could do that, pack a punch and get all that in there. I mean, really, it'd be kind of like the Minecraft movie, and it'd address all of the jokes and all of the lore and all of the little like leave a crawler and all that shit, you know. Like
just man, a fun 8-part series.
We need to get through this door, and they have to like fucking, you know, pay some money. I mean, then they'd get a little bit too close to it. And
it can't be too much like that.
But they could. I could see that doing really well. Yeah, definitely. But that Ghost prequel thing, oh man, I've just come up with the best.
You guys are coming up with legitimate answers that would all be better than what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and in my mind, in my mind, here's what I'm thinking: it's gonna be the Expendables like 2, not even the first Expendables, which was mediocre. Okay, it's gonna be like Expendables 2, where the cast is so loaded. But it's the worst drivel you've
That's
ever
what's
seen.
going to end up happening. They're going to try to aim to get like this star-studded cast.
They'll get Statham,
and then
Statham as Ghost.
And the script is going to be like total. The screenplay is going to be total shit. You know, it's just going to be like, okay.
I'm not even ready for like hundreds and hundreds of like fan cast videos for the Call of Duty film. I'm not even ready for it.
What?
I'm surprised those haven't started yet.
Videos. I'm going to have one up by next week.
I hate that, man. Like, but one of the most common ones is like fan cast videos for Red Dead, and the amount of times I've seen people say, "Oh, who played Arthur Morgan? Who played this?" And It's boring, man. You always pick the same actors every time. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, I would see the COD film, like, you know, I imagine they'd do quite good with it. You know, I mean, the production value of the games, you know, you look at it and you think, well, this could be a film right now. Like, the modern games are crazy. You know, the cutscene quality and the cinematic nature of them is
That's
really
how I
fantastic.
feel about every third game.
What, like,
You feel like
realistically, what time period do you think it'll be setting?
I think modern day. I think present day.
I think modern, but at the same time, like, I'm just thinking of all of the eras that they've done. I think of Vietnam, like Black Ops.
Maybe, because that's seldom seen these days. And I mean, I watched Full Metal Jacket the other day, but that's seldom seen. World War II, they didn't do as much World War II as people really think, though. People think that because that's where it came from. People think, oh, it's a World War II shooter, but it left World War II in like COD 3 and then didn't come back properly. You know, it had a little bit in World at War, really. And then after that, it was 2017 with COD World War II. And then they've really been like present and future more than anything else. So I think present day.
We do have. We'll get to the super chat, Detective Cobra. We will get to your super chat when we move to bite-sized bits. Someone brought up Black Ops characters working with Modern Warfare characters would be a good sell. I don't know if it would. I feel like that's too much. That goes into too much.
Maybe too injured.
Well, they meant characters.
Oh, did they? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. I completely missed that second message.
I feel like that's the case of the Blizzard doing
like a cross franchise, because then you've got the lore of completely different. I mean, you look at the Black Ops series goes back. I mean, if you count World at War, because there's a little bit of lore in that goes back to 2008. That's a lot of background. That's a lot of setting up.
That's World at War is still my favorite Call of Duty game.
Yeah, man.
Everything about it. Zombies was perfect. Everything about the music of Zombies was
the
perfect.
Original Zombies theme, man. Still sends chills down.
Yeah, it's so good.
And when you see the eyes coming out of the darkness, and you're like, "Ooh, this is scary stuff." When you're last alive with the ray gun at the top of the staircase, man.
Yeah. Now we have to move on as we start winding down. Before we do, there was a question about wasn't there supposed to be a Ghost Recon movie? Yeah, I believe that was canceled. That was just canned. Like whether it was quietly or announced, I can't remember, but I know that was canned. But with that, before we get to bite-sized bits, make sure if you're still with us, you are leaving a like. If you're listening after the fact, rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It all helps. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, everything to help join. Detective Cobra asked, Tom, have you heard anything when we could see Cory Barlog's new game from Sony Santa Monica? Thank you, Detective Cobra, for the $2 super chat.
I don't know. Is like the only answer I can give because I don't know and I don't want to speculate, unfortunately. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's probably a little further away, maybe.
I feel like that might be a next-gen launch title. Well, launch window title. Because you got to think we're 2 years away from reported.
Yeah, probably like Intergalactic is probably going to be the last PS5 big Sony IP, maybe. And then they'll launch next gen with Cory's. I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
And with that, it's time to move to bite-sized bits. We have a lot to touch on. We'll start with some sad news. This came out after the rundown was prepped, but 2K has confirmed in a statement that they are laying off staff at Civ 7 developer Firaxis Studios in what they're calling, what every owner calls restructuring.
Civ 7, another good one.
Yeah. Civ 7 didn't do well at launch. People did not take to the new Aegis system like they thought. It has continued to struggle sales-wise. And usually Civ games don't sell the best at launch within the first year. It takes a while for people to move on to the next one. This one has sold historically poor. So it's not for what they expect, historically poor. So it sucks. They let go a lot of good people, writers, lead designers, lead art director, character artists. A lot of people, layoffs continuing. Stellar Blade 2 we knew it was in the works, but we got more confirmation, Grant, of your favorite smut-filled franchise.
Yeah, Grant. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, man, we did. We got some good news. So they came out and they were saying, it's actively in development now. There's a big financial update that came out a couple of days ago, and they said like, yeah, it's underway right now. And I'm really interested to see where it goes, not just because of like outfits and stuff, but because the story, right? Because the director came out a while back and said that he felt the story in Stellar Blade was quite weak, like it was probably the weakest part of the game. And he wants to obviously work on that for the next one.
Expand on it. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. I thought it was good. It was okay. They were setting up an entire universe, which is a hefty task for anyone, really. But they set it up quite nicely. I think I put something like 70 or 80 hours into it for a playthrough. All the side content and stuff they put in, and they've done really good at keeping the community alive up until now. I think people will be really receptive to a second one. I just want to see what they can do to, innovate.
We know what they can do. We know what they can do, and it can involve doing less. It can involve doing less.
Yeah, we're talking like another 50, 60 outfits at launch. The photo mode would be on point and great, man. But I'm interested, especially because it was one of those games where it has a split ending. Like you can go one of two ways. So it's always interesting to see when that happens, like which ending a developer makes like canonical going into the follow-up. That's always interesting. Like where would they go? I know you guys don't have the slightest clue what I'm talking about, because I think I'm the only one in the room who's actually played Stellar Blade.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I'm excited.
Stellar Blade, your Silksong?
Not really. No, I mean I think I said many a time, Stellar Blade really came out of left field for me because I never played a game like that until I played that game, and then I was like, wow, this is really
fell
cool.
in love
Because it's accessible, Souls-like, right? You've got the really big bosses. It's supposed to be.
That's why you like
it. And it is a challenge. But for me, I've never liked a Souls-like game because they're challenging as shit, and I find that so boring when I've got to grind a boss.
Frustrating.
So the fact that I could go into this and defeat a boss in like 2 or 3 tries was so refreshing for me, and it made me want to play it more all the way through. So I really liked it, and outfits were a bonus, but yeah, we'll see.
Kinky.
You'll see. Kinky.
Next up, Escape from Tarkov 1.0 is finally coming. It's coming to Steam as well. We talked about it, Grant. You had the column at Insider Gaming. People can find it like after the show. I will have it later on in the description. It's not a game that feels, unless they're launching a lot with 1.0, because we know they're supposed to have the story of you escaping from Tarkov.
This is the thing.
It's not a game that's ready.
No, this is the thing. A lot of people are on this. So yeah, to set the scene, Tarkov 1.0 is coming on November 15th after 8 years of beta, after 10 years of testing, including alpha, which is crazy to me. Like every time you boot up Escape from Tarkov, you have a banner that tells you the game is in beta. And that's been there for years, right? For 8 years. And it's like, it's so unreal to me to think that soon that's not going to be there. It's crazy. Because I've got, I'm nearing on something like 2,000 hours in Tarkov. Like I absolutely adore it, as weird as that sounds, because the game is absolutely awful. But yeah, so it's coming to 1.0 finally. November 15th is going to launch. And then they also said, they said a few months back, yeah, it'll come to Steam eventually, but now they've confirmed like the Steam page for wishlist is going to be up any day now. And people can start sort of building their profile up on that and waiting for it. And I mean, the downside to that is you're going to have to buy Tarkov again. That's kind of the be all and end all of that one. If you want to get it on Steam, you have to buy it again, but it opens up to a whole new market, which is great. But moving to the 1.0 thing really quick, bite-sized bits. So it's a different version of the game, more or less entirely. So people have been going, people at PAX got they got exclusive behind the scenes demos of 1.0. And they were beaming about it. They were praising it. Obviously they were on tape with Battle State, so they're going to say good things. But they're saying
only you get on camera with official company products and bash it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so proud of you.
But they're saying like, it's it feels different, looks different, whatever. It's got all the, there's new maps coming out for it. They've still got some of their some of the engine stuff, some of the movement changes, and there's all these things coming with it for 1.0 to make it feel like a 1.0. Which is, it's a lot of that stuff hasn't been revealed yet, but it's going to be. And I've got high hopes, as much as I will 100%, it comes to Steam, I'll buy it again just to have it on that platform. And, in a way, it's like a backup account somewhere else. I don't even go into the nitty gritty of it. But the long and short of it is people saying Tarkov isn't ready. The one that we have right now is probably not ready, but 1.0 is supposed to be an evolution in every sense of the word. So we'll see. We will see what happens on November 15th and beyond.
I need a Jeff Keeler wrap it up sign. Fucking hell, Grant.
Yeah,
start playing the music.
man.
Start playing the music,
talking
man.
about Tarkov and then expect me to keep it short and sweet, man. Come on.
Lastly, Rocksteady hires a new Assassin's Creed or a new game director from Assassin's Creed. Bill Money takes over the role, presumably for the next Batman game. He worked on Batman Arkham Origins in the past with WB Games Montreal. Good. I mean, he's had the experience with Batman. Anything to do to bring Batman back to what it is, because we need something after that dumpster fire that was Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Oof.
Lego Batman, man.
Yeah, you can't play. There's only 7 playable characters. That is one of the biggest annoyances. That's a case of people looking to complain just to complain. Because who gives a damn that you can only play as 7 playable characters in a Lego Batman game? I just want to play as damn Batman. Yeah. That's all. I don't care. Oh, Commissioner Gordon. Who cares?
Yeah, I think Andy played it at Gamescom, and it looks really fun. But yeah, I mean, it kind of suggests that a new Batman game from Rocksteady is on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard for so long that it was going to happen, and Rocksteady was going to go back to it. And to wrap that up, WB has said they are literally going to focus on their big IPs. They're going to focus on Batman, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, and Mortal Kombat. And Batman / DC. But when they say DC, they mean Batman.
Yeah.
And we know from what's been said by actors, apparently they're in a next Injustice game is also in the works. Whether that comes soon or whatnot remains to be seen. But voice actors have kind of let it slip that the next Injustice game is on the way.
I didn't play the Batman VR game. I think I should play, because apparently the Batman VR game was fantastic.
Arkham Shadow, they just announced an actor that has announced a sequel to that too.
I think it was a guy who plays, I can't remember who it was, but like the first one was supposed to be really good for like collision physics and like fingers and stuff. Was like super. I mean, it sounds like a weird thing to say, like the fingers were really good, but it is for a VR game. Obviously, it's all about immersion, and apparently that was one of the best. So I need to.
Deadpool. Speaking of VR. Deadpool VR, I got to play at Summer Games Fest. It is a game that got me sick within 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, nice.
That doesn't mean it's a bad game, because the stuff I was doing as Deadpool, like I even had the developers who were there, like complimenting me on how I was playing it, because I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. It's too fast paced for me, and that's how I am with VR games. But that seems like it's going to be a phenomenal VR game.
I'm very interested. I went to Gamescom 2024 never having put a VR headset on my head, and I was demoing Metro Awakening as like a behind the scenes first look, and I played it for like half an hour, and the day after I got back from Gamescom I went and brought a Quest 3. And I was like, I'm invested now. This is it. And I've put hundreds of hours into my VR headset. I really am excited for
mine. Most of my hours is just in Beat Saber. Last thing on Bite Size
Bits. I'll be on mobile soon when you're playing Hollow Knight.
I quit. Last thing on Bite Size Bits. Rematches Major Patch 3 delayed again. It was supposed to come out on the 3rd. Delayed to the 4th. Now they don't know when it's coming, and that's the major patch that includes crossplay. Slow Clap had a game on their hands that was multiplayer game of the year, and they continue to put their foot in their mouth and screw
dropping
the
ball, man.
And the player numbers have dropped exponentially.
Terrible.
I'm so disappointed. I still play it regularly, but they need to do something and turn it around, because it's not looking good, and we'll see what happens. With that, it is time to wrap up this week's edition of Insider Gaming Weekly, a video game podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Insider Gaming IG, Blue Sky Insider-Gaming.com, YouTube. Subscribe to us at Insider_Gaming. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you get your news. We are there. And of course, we have the main website, Insider-Gaming.com. silksong.com with all of the gaming news you need to know about.
.com.
You can find me at Mike Strum Media on all platforms. You can find Grant at Newkov_. You can find AP at the Weekly Wrap Up. Tom, look for the Snowmobile. Guys, it was a fun show. It was a loaded show, and now it's time for AP to sign us off.
Locked and loaded for Mike, Grant, and Tom. I am, of course, your host with the most A to the P, Albert Perkins, and we will see you on the inside.
Silksong!
Silks.